Hello there, crafters! Today we are looking at the story of Jacob and Esau. Actually, this is part one of the story of Jacob and Esau, which is so detailed and so long and so fascinating that we can't fit it all into one simple story. But anyway, the crafts that we're making today highlight the differences between these two twins. Same womb, same time, and yet completely distinct people. The first craft we're going to make is a pair of puppets. Now, if you wish, you can make this into one puppet and make it reversible so that both characters are in one puppet. But that kind of makes me think of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. Plus, by doing two puppets, we're making this able to sort of reenact the story and involve a little bit more drama and activity. So, we're going to first focus on our Esau puppet. Now, you can use whatever props and however over the top you'd like to go. We're going to go relatively simple and basic, but throw in some fun details for these puppets so we can tell them apart. So to start with Esau, we're going to give him we're going to start by giving him some clothes that are kind of made of animal hair here. So here's his little vest of sorts, and actually we'll just kind of throw this whole thing across him like a sash, and then we're going to make him hairy, and to make him hairy we're going to actually use some cotton batting. Unfortunately, we have this in white, but I'm going to attempt to make it kind of colorful. Doesn't need quite that much here because he is not white here just yet. He's a young, strapping lad, and he probably had kind of reddish hair, really. So we're just gonna try to add a little bit of some color to this white batting. If I were to get really brave and adventurous, I'd try this with food coloring, but I have a feeling that is just going to get horribly messy. So here's his hair. Warning, it will also probably destroy your markers if you do that, but there's that option. So we're going to give him some hair on top as well as a beard. And because that's who he is. He's Hairy Esau. So here's Hairy Esau with his beard and his hair and his outfit. Gonna add on a couple of eyeballs. Why is one of them yellow? I don't know, seems like an appropriate thing for crazy old Esau. Also, I just so happen to have those two googly eyes at hand, so there you have it. And draw on a nose. You can't even really see his mouth. It's kind of buried underneath his beard there. And because he is the magnificent hunter, I'm going to give him a weapon. This just so happens to be a knife, which isn't very threatening, I'm sure, but, we work with what we've got. Also draw on these features. So here's his mighty warrior knife, and I'm going to give him in this other hand he's going to be holding a bow and arrow. So here's his mighty warrior bow, and here's the arrow that goes with it. We'll just have him hold them both in the same hand. There we go. So bow, arrow, mighty warrior hunter Esau. And I'll give him, so we know who he is, just in case, Esau the hunter. So there is twin number one. We have nice hairy Esau. Now, coming over to Jacob. So now we're going to make Jacob, and we'll just draw on his face, and here we go. We'll give him a nice smile, Happy little grin. We'll give him some hair too. And I'm going to give him some kind of nicer clothing here. Sort of do a little vest action. And dun, 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 dun. Oops. Oh well, that's quite all right. His vest can have a little rope. And then we're going to give him some props as well. So he is going to be holding a bowl. This is a bowl. We're going to put some food in it, not real food, of course. Here's his stew that he made. And here we go. He's going to hold his stew bowl and just kind of hang on to it like that. His other hand is just sort of dangling at his side. But there we have, in a brief little nutshell, our two twins. Esau, gruff, mighty hunter, hairy guy. And the mama's boy, Jacob, with his nice bowl of stew. La la la. Oh, I forgot to put a name on him so we know who he is. So that is craft number 1, a pair of paper bag puppets. Craft number 2 is, I'm going to start off with a little caption that we can just put with this so that if kids are taking it home, their parents know why in the world they did this. But we're going to make a pair of socks. That's right. We're going to make a mismatched pair of socks. This is a fun activity to remember that not all twins are exactly the same, and gives you a fun wearable item as well to take home. So we're going to give it a little caption and say, not all pairs are alike. And to remember what we studied, the story of Jacob and Esau. Now we're going to make our mismatching socks. So I have a simple pair of white socks here, available at fine department stores everywhere. And I've got some fabric markers and some Sharpies, some jewels. You could also use puffy paint. I'm not going to do that right now because it takes a while for it to dry and it can be quite messy. So use that at your own risk, but you're welcome to use it. So I'm going to make these 2 socks, and I'm going to make them completely, entirely different. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to only decorate one side of them right now, so you don't have to sit here forever watching me color socks. But I encourage you to make this a fun, long-lasting activity and let the kids go to town and decorate them just as much as their little hearts want. But for right now, we won't do that too much. So I'm going to have one that's kind of bedazzled, and the other sock is going to be more of a mighty manly sock in a sense. So I've got this one. Gonna put my bling all over. I'm gonna draw a little heart here with my Sharpie marker. Maybe I can add a little flower. Do, 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 do. And it's just so happy and frilly and lovely. And then here's a happy face to make it even happier. So, happy sock. Another sock. I'm going to make this one a little more unique. So I'm going to kind of just do some designs. I've got some zigzag mountains, sort of like a Native American structure here. I'm just going to sort of go all over the place. And some dots, and maybe my initials. And as you can see, two very different socks. Same pair of socks in a sense, but two very different looks. And so you can wear your mismatched socks, take them home, enjoy them to remember the story of Jacob and Esau, and how sometimes even twins can be very, very different. So get creative, have fun, make the socks all over the place, wild, random. Enjoy it. Enjoy your puppets. Use the puppets to act out the story perhaps, or read it and have the kids act out the action with their puppets. However you would like to use these craft ideas as a starting ground to get you going and enjoy some fun, creative learning time with your students or your kids or whatever your ministry happens to be. So enjoy, tune in again, go make some crafts, make some disciples, and have a wonderful week. See you next time.